Welcome to Silly Stories for Kids. With us, the Ramsden Girls. A podcast where our dad makes up a silly story. Just for you. Okay, let's go.
One day, two kids named Charlie and Luna were in their lounge room. Now, they had a speaker that they were using to play some fun music, and as it was playing, they were dancing around the room, having a wonderful time, until all of a sudden, the speaker stopped. Charlie, did you stop the speaker? Said Luna. No. Did you stop the speaker? Said Charlie. No. They looked, and it looked like it should still be working, but for some reason, it wasn't making any sound anymore. Oh, said Charlie. I really wanted to keep dancing. Me too, said Luna. I might be able to help you, said a voice. Who said that? They looked around the room. They couldn't see anyone. Down here, said a voice. As they looked around, they saw something very, very tiny on the ground. What is that? Said Luna. I don't know, said Charlie. Let's have a look. They bent down very, very low and tried to see what it was. And as they got closer, they realised, it's a tiny little girl. Who are you? My name's Gloria. Gloria, said Luna. Yes, and I am very teeny tiny. And I heard that your speaker stopped working. It did, said Charlie. Maybe together we might be able to fix it. Really? They said. Really, said Gloria. But how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, you need to be teeny tiny, just like me. How are we going to get as small as you? Said Luna. I have another friend that might be able to help. Can you call with me? Her name's Peach. How do we call? What's her phone number? Said Charlie. No, you don't need a phone number. Just call her name. Oh, okay, said the kids. So they started to call out, Peach, Peach. Just then, a fairy appeared in their room. Hi, said the fairy. Are you Peach? Said Luna. I am. What can I help you with today? Well, that tiny little girl down there, said Luna. Oh, Gloria, said Peach. Do you know Gloria? Yes, she's one of my friends. Let me guess, she needs you to be shrunk down nice and teeny tiny small. You're right, said Luna. Can you help? Yeah, said Charlie. She's got to help us fix our speaker. Of course I can help, said Peach. All right, I've been working on something very magical and very important. Here you go. She threw two things to Luna. She caught them. Bracelets, said Luna. Yes, very special, teeny tiny bracelets. If you put them on, you'll become teeny, teeny, teeny tiny, just like Gloria. Okay. Luna helped Charlie put his on. Once it was on, Charlie, where did you go? I'm down here, yelled Charlie. It worked. Would you like some help, Luna? Yes, please, said Luna. So Peach helped Luna put on her bracelet as well. And as she did, she shrunk down teeny, teeny, tiny. Thanks, Peach, they said. When you're finished, said Peach, just take off the bracelets and you'll come back to normal size. All right, we'll see you later. Okay, Gloria, where are we going? Said Luna. Come with me, said Gloria, running and jumping across the floor. Wow, she's so fast and athletic. Yes, it's fun when you're teeny tiny. You can jump and run extra fast. Oh, okay. The kids started to run and jump as well. You can! This is cool! They raced across the floor all the way to the speaker. All right, said Gloria, let's go in through this spot here. She found a little hole in the side of the speaker and they started to climb inside. When they got in, it was amazing inside. There was all kinds of funny little mechanical things and different objects that all seemed to have different roles. And at the center of it all was one tiny little man. Charlie, did you know that there's a man inside of our speaker? No, said Charlie. That's unbelievable. I know. Okay, let's go find out what's wrong, said Gloria. She raced over. Hey, how you doing? Hi, said the man, sounding very sad. What seems to be the problem here, said Gloria. The speaker, it stopped working. Do you know why, said Luna? I don't. There was a big clunking sound up over there and then all of a sudden I couldn't get the music to keep coming out. What do you mean get the music to keep coming out, said Charlie. Well, what happens, the music comes in here and then I have to collect it and then take it across to all the bits that make it all come back out again. See that tunnel over there? Yes. That's where I put all the deep notes so that they can go to the subwoofer part, and this part here, that goes up to the tweeters that do all the high notes." "Wow," said the kids. That's amazing. What does it look like when music comes in?" "Look!" The kids looked across, and still, coming through the little part at the entryway, was a whole bunch of music notes. They were floating and flying around through the inside of the speaker, but they weren't going to the right locations. "Why aren't they going to the right spots?" "Because I had to stop putting them in there to try and make it work again," said the man sitting at the desk. "Oh, well, if we fix it, will you be able to get the music to come back out?" "Definitely," he said. "All right, let's go look." So, the kids and Gloria started climbing the inside of the speaker. It was very tricky. There wasn't many things to hold on to. They had to be very careful. They climbed over different objects and over little cables that joined different parts to other parts as well, until they got up to one of the high parts of the speaker. And in the middle of the high part of the speaker, there was some kind of weird, strange buzzing noise. "Whoa, what's happening?" said Charlie. It's trying to take my hand." "What do you mean it's trying to take your hand?" said Gloria. "Mine too," said Luna. They looked down and realised it was trying to pull their bracelets in. "Oh, maybe this is it a magnet?" "It is a magnet," said Gloria. "For some reason, the magnet is not working properly." Then, all of a sudden, it pushed the bracelets back away again. Wow! It threw the kids back down to the ground. Wah! And then it pulled them back in again. Wah! Until they grabbed onto one of the platforms halfway up the speaker. "I think that magnet might be the issue." Let's see. But how are we going to get there if you keep getting pushed and pulled in all kinds of different directions?" "Hang on," said Charlie. "I can see this cable seems to go to the magnet," he said. "Maybe if I disconnect it here." Charlie disconnected the wire, and all of a sudden, their hands relaxed once again. "Oh, thank goodness. I think we've turned the magnet off." "Great job, kids. Now, we better go investigate and see what's going on." Together, they all started to climb up the speaker once more from the platform where the kids had stopped. They climbed all the way back to the magnet. They climbed up inside the middle of where the magnet was working, and they started to look around. "Help! Help!" they heard a voice. Who's calling for help? Let's go look." So the kids started moving towards where they could hear the voice. Gloria was bouncing from one side of the magnet to the other. She was very exciting and very agile. As they walked their way across, they saw, stuck on the edge of the magnet, was a funny-looking music note. Who are you?" said Charlie. "I'm part of a song, but I got stuck." "You got stuck?" said Luna. What happened?" "Well, I'm heavy metal music, but I think I was a bit too heavy. I can't get out through the speaker holes," it said. "Oh, so did you get stuck to the magnet?" "Yeah, 'cause I'm metal," it said. "Oh dear," said the kids. "How are we going to get him out?" "Maybe we could carry him," said Charlie. "I wouldn't try that," said the funny-looking music note. "Well, we have to try something." Charlie and Luna grabbed hold of the funny-looking music note and tried to lift it off the magnet. As they lifted, "Whoa! He's so heavy!" Yeah! he said. "Oh dear," said Gloria. "What are we ever going to do?" "Well, if he's metal, then maybe if we get him into the right part of the magnet and then turn it back on, it'll blast him back out?" "Yeah, that magnet seems to be changing direction. Sometimes it pushes and sometimes it pulls. Maybe if we get him in the perfect spot on the magnet's face, it'll blast him straight out through the speaker." "That is a good idea," said Gloria. "But how are we going to move him?" "Well, maybe if you all work together, you might be able to move me just a little bit." Okay, they said. "I think we can do this." So, Charlie, Luna, and Gloria all grabbed hold of the funny-looking music note, and they started to pull and pull with all their might. Fortunately, Gloria was just as strong as she was fast, and together with the kids, they were able to pull the funny-looking music note to the centre of the magnet. "Hang on," said Luna. She tilted the magnet slightly so that the face of it pointed directly towards the hole where the music was coming out. "I think it's going to work." "All right, kids. I suggest when you reconnect that magnet that you block your ears." "Why is that?" said the kids. "Trust me," said the music note. Okay, they said. We better get back down to that connection. So the kids and Gloria climbed back down to where the magnet was connected. All right, are we all ready for this? Said Luna. I think so, said Charlie. Let her rip, said Gloria. So Charlie and Luna reconnected the wires and blocked their ears. As the magnet activated, there was the loudest, heaviest music noise that any of them had ever seen. Ah! Wow, said the kids. That was ridiculous. And in no time at all, normal music notes started bumping back up through the middle of the speaker, heading up towards the magnet and coming back out. They could hear a voice down the bottom. It's working, called the man at the desk. I'll start shoveling in all these leftover notes. Hooray, said the kids. We better get out of here. Do you reckon we could go out through the speaker hole? Said Charlie. I don't see why not, said Luna. I'll just grab one of the music notes, said Gloria. Try that too. So the kids and Gloria all grabbed onto a music note each. As it bounced up through the middle of the speaker and hit the magnet, they got blasted out through the speakers. The music was starting to play. As they landed on the ground, Gloria smiled. I'm so glad I could help, kids. Thank you, Gloria, said Charlie. Yes, said Luna. We couldn't have done it without you. Best you take off your bracelets and listen to the music. Make sure to do some good dancing. I'll see you later, said Gloria, as she raced and ran and jumped off into the distance. Bye, they said. The kids undid their bracelets and went back to normal size. As they stood up, they were relieved. Looking at the speaker, it was very funny, because all the music notes that were trapped inside didn't seem to be coming out in the right order. The music was all jumbled and silly sounding. We'll get it right soon, they heard a voice from inside the speaker. Don't worry, said Luna. It's fun. Yeah, said Charlie. So much fun. Just then, their dad came in. Hey, kids, what's with the weird, strange music? He said. Well, said Luna, I don't think you'd believe us, even if we told you. And that is the end of the story. This episode's brought to you by Gloria's Appliance Repair. We can get inside all your appliances, find out what's wrong, and fix it from the inside. We hope that you've been enjoying the silly stories for kids. We hope your speakers are working so that you can hear all the silly stories that keep coming your way. This has been me, Gloria, and me, Sam. We'll see you soon.